no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
There is no investigation. This boy
There
has...
is not, really? It is to me. Right. Idiot.
I done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me and my boys and my kids.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Live from the NBD Production Studios, you're in the lab with your host, Joshua Diaz.
There is no investigation. This boy has...
There is not, really? It is to me. But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys. But I have to...
There is no investigation.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
But I have to put her... But I have to put her on the side and worry about the boys.
Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. It is June 3rd, 6:03 here on the West Coast. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Special edition of the lab. Now, obviously, our guest of honor, as always, is here. And I'm sure he's ready to rock the show. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And towards the end of the show, we have a special treat or tribute, if you will, that I've been working on along with another person. So I just want to tell you, so make sure to stick around for that. And Chris McDonough of the interview room, how are you, sir?
Josh, good evening, brother. And it's 9:03 on the East Coast.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
It's great to see you.
The world really runs on East Coast time. It's true. We're just lazy, lackadaisical over here, but you look great. And I love your hat, by the way. It's very cool. Sure. Your Cold Case Foundation hat.
You doing a couple things for the represent. Yep. Thank you. Had to represent.
Yeah,
been chasing some things.
Oh, very good. Very good. So everything's good. How are you?
So we're doing great. I appreciate your patience this week. We've been out here. I got the nut job on the other side of me here. You can hear him. So so you know, but that's Buddy grabbing toys already. He's already started. It's like every time you invite me on, it's like, cue the Jack Russell. And, so him and Otis.
All right.
Him and Otis. So we're doing good. Thank you for asking. We've been really busy.
I noticed, we missed each other a couple times this week, but that happens in the scheme of life, and we always make time for each other, and so I appreciate you being here and taking the time as always, and I'm really excited to present to you tonight what we've been working on, and it's going to be very, very neat. So
I'm really stoked. I mean, the fact that you would even think about this. I mean, when you called me, it was like, wow. Okay.
Well, what it is it's basically it's a congratulations for all the success of your channel and all the people that you've helped and that you do help, and if people really knew the half of what you actually do, they'd cut you a little bit more slack in the grand scheme of life. A lot of people are just ruthless, out there. And the people that are ruthless absolutely seem to almost do nothing for anybody else. And you're a very selfless person. So we thought that it would be just fantastic to do this. And we put a lot of thought and time into it. So, and also Sunday, you have a new show. Tell us what you got coming up Sunday as well.
So we have, and thank you, by the way, even for your kindness. I mean, some of it comes with the territory, and some of it is the territory. So you just have to learn in life that you just kind of roll with it. But so Sunday I've got Billy Little coming back on my show from the D. Warner case, and we're going to give everybody the most recent information and evidence that we've discovered, and it's going to be a really compelling program again. I mean, he's he goes 1,000 miles an hour, and
he's
a
special.
really good man. And thanks, Mary. Love Mary. I took her today.
Oh, did you say you spoke with her today?
But yeah, earlier today we chatted it up a little bit. I always check in just to make sure, and she checks in with me to make sure I'm not sitting in an ER somewhere.
Made a meatloaf, blew a gasket, and you got to go. And
man, her meat. Have you tried some of her recipes?
Yes,
I
have.
And folks, if you and I forgot to say hello to the lab rats out there. Okay, so people are telling me to turn up my volume, so I'm going to do that for you. I hope this helps. But hi to all the lab rats, all the TIR family. We love you all. It's great to see everybody here tonight, and I'm so excited to be here with Josh on a Friday night, Friday.
Friday. See, Friday nights are the nights that we hang out and here at home mostly. The days of going out are kind of over in my world. We got all that out of the way when we were younger, and I'm just man, I look back at some of those times and you go, who has the energy to even do that kind of stuff? I mean, I eat a couple corn dogs and I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed after dinner. After I wolf down a couple corn dogs.
Well, and those things, take the heat right out of you. Go ahead.
They take them about everything out of you. You eat them and they start to expand in your stomach. Right after you eat them.
It's like rice.
The dough is not really cooked.
It's like rice. It gets in there and boom. Next thing you know, you're chasing chickens. Trying to figure out which direction they go. How's the audio and everything sounding now, Josh? Is it you okay?
Good to me. Yeah, it sounds good to me. That's what I was a little curious, but you sound fine. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You sound really, really good to me.
I apologize, everybody. If I do get lower, just please shout out and I'll turn it up.
Yeah, not a problem at all, Chris. Thank you. So, we can just kind of dig in here a little bit, kind of the goings on in some of these cases. I will have Daniel's father, David Robinson, on the show this coming week. Him and I have been in contact talking. He wants to really keep pushing that. He really wants to just keep pushing for his son and just to spread that word and get out. It's just the greatest. He's just such a wonderful, wonderful man. And Heidi always peeping. What's up? Thank you for that. You've interviewed him already, correct?
Yeah, I've interviewed him. I've talked to the homicide investigator that was retained to look into the case. His name is Bob. And then I've also talked, I've got an appointment with the chief from the agency. But that's through the Cold Case Foundation. What we did is we set some things up behind the scenes, as we always do. And, we'll see some of the progress there. Also, I connected him with Francine with, the airbag had deployed when the car crashed, his son's vehicle crashed. And we wanted to see if we could get some DNA off of the airbag, touch DNA. So hopefully he's followed through with that with her. I talked to her about 3 weeks ago, and she said they had not connected yet. So maybe you can encourage him to, keep reaching out.
Absolutely. And another thing that I wanted to bring up while we're at it is the escaped criminal from Texas was fatally shot today, but not before he could just do heaps of damage. It sounds as though he's responsible for 5 murders, 4 children and 1 adult, after stealing, their vehicle and things like that. So, prayers go out to that family, and there's a reason these people are behind bars. There's a reason why they tell you to be on the lookout when there's, armed and dangerous isn't just a flippant term that people use. And I don't know if you caught any of that, Chris, but absolutely horrific.
I did.
Horrific. It's just so sad. Did you ever have to hunt down a fugitive?
All of that on top of the fact that he's, hundreds.
Yeah. Just
Literally.
The worst, huh?
I mean, over time, right? Over a 20.
You're breaking up a little bit here and there. I don't know. Maybe there's a tornado headed in your general vicinity. I'm kidding, but I know that you've had some weather around where you are. And so, we'll definitely just, how are you doing now? Are you buffering a little bit?
Yeah, I'm buffering a little. Are you okay? Hang on for a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead. Take your time. We're all friends here.
Yeah, I'm just north of that big storm coming in.
Probably playing with your. Oh, look. So everybody's talking about this corn dog business, okay? And I think tonight we'll nominate like 3 different names, and Mary apparently is going to name a corn dog after me. So thank you for. Let me see. I think I can turn you up a little bit too here, Chris. Let me see what I can do. Help you out. The McFluffer has to McBuffer. That's true. He does. He buffers a lot. So I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do this. I haven't thought it out or anything like that. But I think we'll take like the top 3 names or there was one here that was, the lab dog. That's a pretty good one. Let me see if I have a pin here. We can write it down because I can never. All right. So the lab dog will be one. It's not named after Chris. It's named after me, Abe. I don't think Chris wants a corn dog named after him. The fact that I want a corn dog named after me should trouble a lot of people, but it doesn't. The McLab dog, you got to leave Chris out of this one. He's got his own McFluff stuff going on, guys. Come on now. The McFluffin dog. Ava's all about, I mean, it's just, what happened here? I think he just, Here, let me remove. Hey,
I had
There
to
you
go
are.
to space.
it's cool because now I have two of you in there, and I can ban or kick you from the studio, and I think I'll ban you.
Boot them both. Whatever you need, brother. Whatever you need. I just got back. Elon Musk picked me up and brought me back.
Yeah, no, now
Sorry
you're
about that.
now you're rocking and rolling. So we got one. People are wanting to incorporate your name in this corn dog. I'm the corn dog guy. You're not even allowed to eat corn dogs anymore.
No. And
You got your own fluff going on.
I've got my own fluff going on, and my sweetheart has had me on a pretty good diet so far. So we'll see what happens in the next 3 or 4 months. But I got to go back in for a check, and they're going to look at me and say, "Oh, hey, you're still here? Okay, start eating corn dogs." Or
I love that. And when they tell you, "Oh yeah, you're doing great. We're gonna have a virtual corn dog together."
absolutely. Well, cheers.
Like you said, like lightsabers,
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. So
Yeah.
Chris, we're 2 weeks out of the year anniversary of Summer Going Missing. We are about a month or so. Michael Vaughn, and to me, the year mark is significant in the fact of like a year. We look back on everything and you just go, wow, look at all the carnage and craziness surrounding all these different cases. And one of the problems that I've noticed, especially around social media, is that there's very little accountability for things that are said, and people seem to be able to just say things slanderous, liable, whatever you want to call it, against others, and there's very little repercussion, if any at all. Usually there's none, but most of the time, and I mean, just some of the craziest allegations, some of the meanest spirited humans I've ever really encountered. I mean, I get really bothered by that kind of stuff, knowing that lies are just made up constantly for whatever reason. And what I've really learned from this whole time is I don't believe anybody. I just don't. I hear it and I just kind of roll my eyes and the credibility that is put on display, especially recently, but just in the last year, really just does a disservice to everything that we are trying to do here. I mean, you have the other day I heard, now the big thing again is, we recycle these things, everybody's back to Jody Sue and the screams and the this and the that and the Dodsons and and I remember describing it as a Ferris wheel of crap. And that was really the best way that I could put it. Is it simply that there's just nothing going on, so we're recycling information? By the way, we've already been through all that stuff, you and I, months and months ago. There's nothing really new that anybody's talking about there. Is that just how it is? I mean, when you were dealing with, like, for instance, the Leticia case, the information, was it just recycled information, or I mean, is that how these things kind of go?
Well, no, because this is a unique time that we're in. We are in, the digital age that is instantaneous. And I can't say right now, but I had an interview today with a national publication that will be coming out, a story on just this phenomena, what you're talking about. And the journalist asked me, well, does this help or does this hurt? And I said, well, it's a two-edged sword, because and I told her, I said, what you remember the old journalistic rule is when you become the story, there is no story. So when the true crime community just starts hammering themselves, okay, then what does that do for a family? And we'll use Michael Vaughn's as an example. What does that do for Brandy and her husband? Right? Nothing. Okay. When we start talking about other people, among the community, what does that do? Nothing. Okay. So I've learned a long time ago, it's like blowing out a light bulb. Okay. So there's no sense in even trying, because people are going to say whatever they want to say. And law enforcement today has two choices. They can either embrace the community and try to control some of that flow, or they can just let it, spin out of control at 250 miles an hour. I mean, the public doesn't really know. I mean, just last week, Major City Chiefs and PERF, which is Police Executive Research Forum, PERF, met in San Francisco. And that's the top 79 law enforcement agencies in the United States. All the chiefs, okay, as we used to say, too many chiefs in the kitchen, okay? But that said, what did they talk about? They talked about the issues that are plaguing the United States. They talked about school shootings. They talked about hiring. Who's being hired? Why are there, we have more unsolved murders than at any time in law enforcement history right now, last year, 2020.
Well, that's odd. I didn't know that, but which is odd, especially since this digital trail of most things.
Well, right. But here's the problem. Okay. And we were talking about this, and I can't say too much more because I said a lot to the person, but what the bottom line was, until the story comes out, and then I can say, whatever, but I made a commitment to her. But the bottom line was, today's policing, in, going back the old way sometimes, is the way to go, i.e., get out of the car, talk to people. This is the most powerful tool on the earth, and it's the most dangerous. Right here, this mouth, okay? And these two ears, these are supplemental to this, because here we get to hear ourselves in stereo. Okay? But this tool right here has started wars, has ended wars, and has killed and has healed. Okay? This moves this, this moves this, this moves this. Okay? And those are the problems in today's law enforcement communities, where younger officers are thinking in bits and bytes. Okay, when I was in the car, we didn't have all that stuff. I mean, we did eventually, right? But we didn't have all the, press a button, it's taking me to my location. Okay, no, I actually had to, look at a map.
Right.
If I didn't know where a street was, and you had 6 minutes to get there, and if you didn't know your streets, okay, then, you got a real problem. But so those are the kind of things that, today they're not willing to get out of the car and say, hey, I'm not here to talk to you about, something you're doing. I'm here to talk to you about who you are as a friend. What can I do to help you? Okay. And I think as we start seeing some more shifts in the society, things are getting harder and tougher for everybody, just everybody. And crime is going to go way, it's already on the rise. Even though the numbers show that the crimes are down, murder is up. It's crazy right now. I hope that's a long answer. Sorry about that.
No, you don't have to apologize. Do you think that obviously has something to do with the last 2.5 years? I mean, we've talked about how domestic violence has been on the rise as well. I think personally, I hate to even, bang on this, over and over, because as somebody who uses social media regularly and, has a footprint in social media, I also think, like you said before, it's a double-edged sword where some of the most, you can get to anybody on social media. If they have an account, you can say, you can put it out there in the ether, and then people will, not, I wouldn't say eat it up or anything, but it's just out there. And I think that there's a lot of stalking that goes on now. A lot of I couldn't tell you how many times fights have been started over somebody having a passcode on their phone. What are you hiding? Who was that on your Instagram? Why did your Snapchat say you were here, or, this or that? And people are just absolutely, they think that people are possessions, that they own people, or that they own their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, or whatever. And that sense of possession, I don't know where that comes from, but it's spread. It has spread across all forms of social media, and just the jealousy and the altercations. Like you said, murders are up. Domestic violence is up. Who knows where it ends? But I do know that not law enforcement, but these social media companies are not exactly wanting to help out unless they have to. Unless they're forced to by the government, by some sort of regulation. They're like, you know what? It's our product. We respect the privacy of all of our users. And they think that, and they're probably right, if they were to turn stuff over the way that law enforcement would appreciate that they did, they probably lose a lot of customers. But the kind of customers that they would lose are probably the ones that are worth losing. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's a solid point. I think, I think we're all in this trying to figure it out mode, right? There's two sides to the true crime, community as a whole. There are really super great people. Just super awesome people. Okay, and there's opinions. Okay. There's opinions, but that's okay. Everybody's able and should have an opinion, but you can have that opinion, huh?
I disagree.
Well, that's cool. That's your opinion.
My opinion.
Okay, right. Okay.
My opinion is that not everybody should have an opinion.
Well, that if you don't give them a voice, then they get bullets, and that's always the society. Resolution to problems. Okay. And it goes back to this understanding of, the art of communication has been, is right now redeveloping itself. Dylan, for an example, his generation really could care less about social media. When I talk to him all the time, well, do you have this? Do you have that? He goes, for what? They're actually his 18, 19, they're thinking about, well, we just want to talk to each other. Okay. But you get to that 18 and above, 19 and above, that generation, grew up in the technological age. They're changing the world. and that's a good thing. You're guys. What are you? What generation are you?
I
think you're CD.
I don't know.
That's corn dog.
Yeah, I'm a Generation CD.
Get a Generation CD.
You son of a gun.
Yeah, there you go.
I knew you were going to work that in there somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, Generation X, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, well, you're in that frame though that social media is important, but it's not how many clicks and how many likes, right? I mean, there are kids today who are just I mean, look at this last kid, the shooter in Texas. He's telling everybody. There are 4 or 5 people in a group chat that, oh yeah, I bought a gun. Oh yeah, I just shot my grandmother. Oh yeah, I shot her in the face. I mean, okay, what's going on here? Right? What's the responsibility of that child or that person receiving that text? And if there's a gap in there, which there obviously was, okay, if there's a gap in there, well, the consequences are, what we see.
Yeah, devastating. And it's funny that you say that. My son, it's funny that we have a son the same age, but my 18-year-old son, he doesn't have Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. He doesn't have a Facebook. And it's not because he's antisocial. It's not because anything other than he literally tells me, he goes, I can't stand it. I just hate it. And I said, and he thinks it's weird that I'm on it. He's like, what good is it? And I said, I don't know. I mean, he frequents everybody watches YouTube and stuff like that, but I mean, he absolutely doesn't know TikTok, no, nothing. So, I mean, you're 100% right. My younger son, he's just not active on the stuff. He just isn't. And so I understand what you're saying. He's completely right. But, it's just interesting, that he thinks the same way and you've called it. And I don't think that that's a bad thing at all.
No, I think it's it's important that, the moms and dads in the world and grandpas and grandmas and brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins. I mean, family is very important to focus, a child in the right direction. It doesn't matter what type of family. If a child senses that there is a bond and a unity within a family unit, that child will function correctly. Ultimately, I mean, there's tens of thousands of studies that have shown it. And what social media allows kids to do, unfortunately, is create a secret life on steroids.
Mm.
It's post-incident where you get the mother of the shooter who comes out and says, I'm sorry. Well, okay, I don't know what that means for her because I'm not in her shoes. Okay, but you get the grandfather who says, what he says, and now the grandmother's trying to survive. So I think, today's teachers, today's parole officers and law enforcement officers and nurses and doctors, and others who are in the public safety and or the arena to serve. It's a changed world out there. It is a changed world, and the internet has done that very effectively. By the way, and these large corporations like you're talking about, they control the volume, for lack of a better term.
It reminds me of the printing press. It's the printing press 2.0. When the printing press came out, it was it was beautiful invention. You could distribute news, obviously not nearly the way that you can now, but it was a big concern for a lot of people back then when they were like, oh, so now, our words are going to be out there. When we say something, somebody's going to quote us on it. And so I liken it to the printing press 2.0, or like you said, it on steroids, because everything gets next. Who knows? Pretty soon they're going to start putting cell phones in people's arms or something. Yeah, I don't know. It just everything is a slow crawl, but we end up in a spot where we never not that we never intended to be there, but we just end up in a spot, and then we look back and go, how did we get here? I remember the old dial-up internet. You know what I mean? That stuff doesn't exist anymore unless you go to the library. And I do go to the library, but I didn't go this week, but I will be back next week. And I'm sure I'll find something.
What do you like to read? What do you read?
Well, I actually like to read kind of turn of the century, kind of Chicago immigrant mafia type stuff. Irish mafia has always interested me. I like those kind of books, but I also like A Purpose-Driven Life was a very, very in chicken. You remember Chicken Soup for the Soul? Do you remember those?
Yeah, very good.
I used to read those. Goosebumps when I was younger. That was always fun. But nothing super spectacular. But I do like I like that kind of stuff. Mostly, there was a book that I read once. It was called The Shack, and I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, but it was a really popular book, and I really enjoyed it. But mostly, what I like to read is I like to read about like World War II, and actually I've been into World War I mostly lately, and which the difference between the two is just amazing. Just great stuff. But I love history. I just started a book about Genghis Khan, really weird dictator type stuff. I don't know why I like that kind of stuff. I do. And I like to read the old King James just because it's challenging, and but I kind of switched to the New King James when it's a little easier to understand, if that makes any sense. But just stuff like that. Josh likes highlights. Yeah. Yes, I do. I absolutely do like highlights, but I don't know. What about you? I mean, what do you read?
I read just about anything I can get my hands on. I'm kind of Karen calls me a Renaissance kind of guy. I mean, I'll read, like A Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, classic, amazing stories. I've got the New Testament right behind me in the wall.
Yep. Okay.
So I sit in that corner right over there, and I pound away at that one. I've been doing that for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. And, I read a lot of scientific stuff, psychological journal, and a lot of, keeping up to date, IACP stuff, International Association of Chiefs of Police. I read a lot of published papers. Mm-hmm. My oldest son is a professor, and my brother's a professor. They are both very. They're in the education field, but at a different level. Those guys are pretty smart. They're both economists.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be. I've kind of dabbled in reading a bit of that stuff, but and a lot of things. I also like to read a lot of psychology books and things like that. But sometimes I end up getting so far over my head, and I just get all kind of scrambled. So, but my biggest desire in the world when it comes to reading, because by the way, like that is just information, like 101, man. People should read more. It's something that I kind of picked up probably in my mid 20s, and I've learned so much, but my desire is to understand humans the best that I can, and try to be compassionate and try to do my best to listen, and just understanding people. Life is a little bit easier that way, and you don't have to have such a gloom and doom outlook on people. My son will be like, well, that person seems like they're in like a really bad way, or this or that. And I said, yeah, I mean, that, when people get going on that kind of track, whatever track we're talking about at the time, I said, it can just be detrimental, or that person, I think that person will be okay. Or it's just something that I always want to learn about, but you'll never learn everything. There's just too much. There's too many different personality types. There's too many different situations. And I don't know why. I don't know why I feel that way. I don't know what my desire is, why it's there. It's just there. I don't know, but.
Well, that's good. That's, you have a spirit of learning. I mean, you want to keep going on that, right? And everybody keeps saying that there's something wrong with me. I mean, if there is, let me know, because
what is that about?
I feel fine. I have no idea, but who cares? By the way, I feel great. Okay, and I'm in Florida, enjoying life. I was just in the Keys. I went down to see Hemingway's house and the Truman Museum down there, and because I had some work here in Florida, and so I figured, okay, I got a little downtime. I'm going to run over there, and we got out of there just before that storm came. So. That said, I feel great, and I hope you feel great, but, thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it. And hopefully, I'm not letting you down, that
hey, Chris,
I feel
how
good.
You doing? You look like crap today. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to it. I've been spit on, I've been shot at, almost stabbed. I can't tell you how many times. I've had people lie, sue me, and
I think
it's like, get in line.
I think you look tan and relaxed, and you're wearing
well, exactly. I mean, who cares, right? I mean, it just what counts is what my sweetheart thinks. She's the one who says, you know what, you look sick. Oh, really? What I do? Okay, let's change it. But no, I feel great. I do. I went to see the Top Gun movie, and I told you I guarded Tom Cruise in the very first movie. For 4 days, he didn't talk to me one time. It looks like he's still, I like the movie. The movie was great. It was awesome. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it personally. But, we went to see that, Karen and I, and we had a blast in these movie theaters. It was the first time I'd actually been in a theater in probably like 5 years.
Right.
And they have the reclining chairs. No, yeah. I'm like,
you must have loved it because you weren't feeling very good.
Oh, exactly. I was, and the lady was walking by, corn dogs, hot dogs, popcorn. I'm like, corn dogs. Is Josh in the lobby? I'll be right back. Yeah, I got to go say hi to my buddy. Anyway, we watched a great movie, and then you called and say, hey, you want to do a show? And I said, of course, always with you, or whenever it was. I must be losing my mind.
You're the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but thank you for your concern. I love you.
Yeah. If he's tired, it's from laying in the sun and enjoying retirement.
Yeah. I'm insecure as heck. There you go. Cool. Yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
Who said that?
I don't know. I could. Well, the fact that I'm pointing it out makes me insecure. My alter ego, it is having a problem, is what she's thinking. So we're glad. Everything I know about people I learned on the internet. That's the way it rolls.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, he got famous and cocky. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, no, I think we're talking. She was talking about Tom Cruise. Yeah, he's insecure. I agree. The guy is just amazing. He's an amazing actor, etc. But in real life and in real time, he won't give you 30 seconds of his time.
I wonder what. I mean, he's just. I've seen him do interviews and stuff with, and he loves to ambush the interviewer with like his knowledge of. He always talks about like antidepressants. He's got this whole spiel. He waits to just, boom, and not saying that that's not a conversation that you could have, but like he's there to promote a movie, and he goes completely the opposite way. But now I think now is as good a time as any. I want to present the. Let me see here. Let me pause it. So this is something that was done by me and my son, and it's basically just a thank you and a congratulations on the success of your channel. I've been really excited to show it to you, and so I hope. It's about 4 minutes, so I hope people enjoy it, and we'll talk about it a little bit after.
In finding 7-year-old Leticia Hernandez.
Police fear that Leticia has been kidnapped.
Authorities say they have no clues into the disappearance of 7-year-old Leticia Hernandez.
The search continues this morning for Leticia Hernandez, the 7-year-old Oceanside girl who's been missing since Saturday night. Detectives in Oceanside and FBI agents in San Diego continue to track down leads on the girl's whereabouts.
But police are following up on a number of phone leads from people who believe they have seen the girl.
Leticia Hernandez was kidnapped on December 16, 1989.
Those big brown eyes help me realize what's in your heart. I hear your voice and I have no choice. I'm a star.
Hey, aloha, everybody.
Aloha, everybody.
Chris McFluffin, a.k.a. the McDonough, a.k.a. McDonoughnator. I got a lot of them. I could go all night with that, really, Chris. I could say, you're a magician.
Our very first episode, we're bringing you the story about Suzanne Morphew. Aloha, everybody. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Woo-hoo. Doing great.
Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the interview room.
And welcome to the interview room. Wow. I got to adjust my seat.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the interview room. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room.
But just literally cut your phone off all the way. Cut your phone off all the way so we have no interruptions. Anyway.
Amazing. So
he grew a lot about himself. There's Chris.
I got knocked out of my own the beginning here, so
you know him like I know him. The McFluffinator, Chris McDonough of the interview room. Thank you for being Chris McDonough. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Josh, aloha, lab rats.
Yeah, here we are.
Steve, what's up, bud? We are very, very appreciative, each of you, and I just can't say thank you enough. So, thank you. Aloha.
On the side, the boys.
Let's see.
Where is our? Are there? Yep, there they are. There's those. If you look down there, there's just corn dog after corn dog.
That's
down.
That's what I'm talking. Now we need some ketchup packets and mustard packets. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room.
We're grateful that you're here tonight. I've got my sidekick over here, Detective Buddy. I'm sure he appreciates that, right, Bud? Yep. Okay, there you go. I feel great that I'm in the lab in the test tube.
Man, you're in.
Here I am, buddy. Shake me up. Shake me up.
You know,
She was kidnapped by a man who was seen in the area Saturday afternoon. Leticia is described as 4 feet tall, about 80 pounds, with dark hair and brown eyes. She's also missing her 2 upper front teeth.
It's been more than a month since she vanished and the leads have been drying up.
This song is dedicated to Leticia Hernandez, kidnapped December 16, 1989, in Oceanside, California. Oh, Leticia. This is the interview room, guys, right here. The interview room.
Chris's new studio.
You're my first interview.
She's still out there, and that we continually need to remember her till she comes home.
well, there it was.
That's pretty humbling, buddy. That's amazing. Peyton, thank you.
He did.
Appreciate you. I love you, man. Boy, that's very kind. Very. Nothing to say. I mean, it just. I'm glad you dedicated it to Leticia. And that case still is something that has been on my mind for a long, long, long time. And, I've never given up on it. And for my peace. Thank you, Josh. I mean, your kindness and right there shows what the reason why we're friends. I mean, I knew who you are internally and what you're all about. And I just... Your success belongs further than mine, and you will be. You'll pass me in no time, and I think that'll be a great day. And then I'm going to do something about you. So thank you so much for that tribute. Appreciate it.
You're an inspiration, and to 100,000 people agree with me. And so we've had the conversation before. Is that the kind of the 1 or 2 or 5 people that kind of get on us here and there, and then going, but what about all the people that love us? What about all the people that appreciate us? What about the people that we appreciate and love and respect here? It is something that is truly humbling, and I don't think sometimes I don't think that even you realize the reach that you do have, that how many people actually hear your words. Even the ones that claim they don't watch you talk about you, even the ones that claim that don't like you talk about you, because you make an impact on everybody. And it's for the better. And I'm glad that you're here, because I'm telling you, if you weren't here, I wouldn't have stayed. I would have been gone a long time ago. And I think about that a lot. I think that it was kind of, I wouldn't say divine intervention, but I think we just gravitated towards each other because the things that go on here, I don't really stand for them, and I know you don't. And it just kind of, it just kind of worked out. And like I said, I appreciate everything that you've done, that you've taught me, your time, your audience, just everything. None of it goes unnoticed with me, and you have the best audience I just love, I love doing these shows with you, but I just like talking to you in general. And so like I said, I appreciate you. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. I know that you could see that people really, really do adore you. And it's true, though, you did marry way above your.
Oh, I married outside of my pay grade times 10.
What do they call that?
mean,
Outkicking the coverage. I mean, you just. But also, I also want to say, Dylan and Karen both are a huge part of the interview room, and they help you so much. So congratulations to them as well. And it's not even so. The number is really arbitrary. It's the impact that you have. You changed a lot of people's lives, and so for that, we're all of us here are grateful, and that's really what this show tonight was about. Was just kind of letting you know that people really do appreciate and care about the things that you do. And you look healthy to me.
I hope so. And I can't thank you enough, for your kindness, obviously, and just, for even saying those things about me. I mean, and about Dylan and Karen. We've worked pretty hard, but more importantly, the people that have made this happen are, the audience. I'm just the messenger. I try to deliver the message appropriately, with respect, with class, with, just getting the word out there, and try to keep it within reason. I mean, there's just so much stuff that can really screw something up pretty quickly. And, I've been accused of it myself. I've made mistakes. I've apologized for mistakes, and then other things. But the other thing is, I know what I know, and I know how to do it. I've done it, and I've been doing it for a long time. And now, and what does that mean? It means nothing. It means I'm learning still every single day. And, I've got a case in Texas right now. I've got 2 people that have been murdered in Texas. The agency is out of gas, and they called the Cold Case Foundation, and Coop called me and said, work with these guys. And we've had multiple meetings for the last 4 months, 5 months now. And, we're making a difference. We're helping them because, these things are taxing. Those first responders, those nurses, those doctors, everybody, those teachers in this latest problem in Valdosta, and I can't pronounce the school
Uvalde?
name, but it's Robb Elementary. I know that, but yeah. So every one of those individuals are going to be impacted for the rest of their life. And when I did the Matthew Checky case with Brandon Wilson, and they had me up on the Oprah Winfrey show, and Oprah leaned over to me and she goes, what's the impact here for parents? And I said, well, I hope he didn't die in vain. And she goes, well, what can we do about it? And did you know his death is the start of family restrooms in the United States in malls? As a result of that little boy passing away, which is a horrific event, but his death did not go. How many other lives were saved? How many other parents recognized, I'm taking my child into the bathroom now?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest with you, the day I saw that changed to where anybody can go into any bathroom, in my head, I saw Matthew Checky. And that it was like, holy cow, we're going backwards. We're not going forward. And, don't misunderstand what I'm saying by saying that. Okay. But, that little boy made a difference to saving other children potentially, because these predators, they're predators, know they have an open door. And you know what? That's crazy, because, all the work that others have done, and myself and others, it's like blowing, it's like circling the drain again. So, just be akamai, as they say in Hawaii, right? Just pay attention, moms and dads. When you take your kids into restrooms, take them in. Don't no longer let your child go into a bathroom. I used to say stand at the door. Not anymore. Go into the bathroom. Be there with your child while that child is using the restroom. I don't care who it is or what it is. If anybody can go into a bathroom, then moms, go into the bathroom with your sons and your daughters. Every one of them. Grandparents, same way. Walk into the bathroom and stand there while they go to the restroom.
Well, and that's another thing, Chris, that a lot of people don't know about. And somehow it came across my YouTube feed, this young, strapping man at a playground filming what looked like to be sort of an infomercial type thing.
Here we go. Here we go. Are you serious?
But you've been doing this for, like you said, you've been doing this a long time.
A long time.
And you've been warning people of predators before I was born. I mean, you've been doing this. It's not new to you. And, I've learned a lot from one of the things that I've learned, especially from you, is when you say the secondary crime scene, don't get into the car. Just don't, things like that. Or when people would come up and say, hey, my dog's missing. I watched those commercials that you cut way back in the day.
Yep.
And you would say, don't separate from your friends. Don't do this. None of this is new. You're doing it on a different platform now, and you're reaching more people than ever. And a lot of the things that you have taught, it actually applies to everyday situations. People will try to steal kids right from underneath you. It happens every single day, all the time. And like I said, you've been doing this. And so it's refreshing to be able to learn a lot of those things and pass that information along. It's just something that so did they play those infomercials? You said they played them after like Saturday morning cartoons or something?
Yeah. So, and a lot of folks, aren't aware of that. I don't go around,
I know.
Yeah. Do you have one? Knowing you?
Yeah, I'm going to play one right now.
Okay. So I'll set it up for you. If I don't know what you're going to play, but so years ago, I did these, 30-second promos for Turner Home Videos. It was basically the Scooby-Doo series and a variety of other these cartoons. So after every cartoon, there would be a safety tip on keeping yourself safe. And that was basically, and a funny story. One time, when I was our youngest, before Dylan, it was Ryan. We were out trick or treating, and I went up to the door with him, and the kids stand there, and the door opens, and this little boy is putting the candy in, and he looks up and he looks at me and he just freezes, and his mother, God bless her soul, comes to the door and says, what's wrong? And he goes, Scooby. And I was like, it's a long story. Thank you so much. Have a great night. And anyway, he recognized me from the Scooby-Doo cartoons on the end of them. And
what were the names of those videos again?
They were Turner Entertainment, but it was Kindervision was the program. And my buddy in July is one of the reasons I'm out here in Florida. He just passed away from COVID, and he was Major League Baseball is the Major League Alumni Baseball is the charity that supports it, and it's called The Greatest Save or Kindervision.
Yep, I got one right here. I'm gonna check it out because they really are awesome.
This is when I was younger.
I would say slightly just a little bit. You look better today than you ever have.
I have good genes.
Wranglers.
There you go.
KinderVision appreciates the opportunity to provide you with this valuable information.
Hello, I'm Police Detective Chris McDonough. KinderVision has asked me to provide you and your parents with the following information to protect you.
Teach your children the importance of playing and walking with other children. Don't let your children play or walk alone. Remember, there is safety in numbers and that the buddy system has been proven to work. Young children should hold hands when in a crowd. Children, you should always stay together and don't allow anyone to separate you from your friends or move you or your group to an isolated area. Teach your children to tell you if they are approached by anyone. Parents, believe your children and report any incident to the police immediately. This could not only save your child, but someone else's.
Protecting our most precious resource and caring for your family is a service KinderVision is proud to provide.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, the fact
millions of Scooby-Doo cartoons and VHS tapes. I mean, I think there was like 11 to 15 million back in the day that went out on, and there were like 7 or 8 of the safety tips. So
it's just kind of amazing because, like I said, it just, you know, this isn't something that you just decided to do one day. It's something you've been doing, and like you said, all the shows that you've ever done, and you've done quite a few, and we've done quite a few, you've never even mentioned this. Never. You probably don't even think about it anymore.
Well, I mean, it's
kind of comes with what you do.
I don't know. It's just the way I was, you know, I'm wired. I don't, it's never, I try like the next person for it not to be about me. It's about the kids. It's about the victims. It's about the families. And, you know, that was one of the things. Mustaches were mandatory, by the way. Yeah, mandatory equipment back in the day. And the reason for that, believe it or not, when you would put Vicks on your mustache when you walked into a crime scene and it was a stinker. You just get Vicks and you put it right there and you can't really smell anything.
Right.
But anyway, and that was one of the things I mentioned to the journalist today. You know, I said, you know, we've lost focus here. You know, police don't solve crimes. Police organize the puzzle pieces and then present it to the district attorney. Citizens and witnesses and evidence solves crimes. And this is one of those things that, you know, that series came as a result of Leticia Hernandez, December 16th, 1989. It was about Leticia. Okay, how do we prevent this from happening again? And, you know, Doug came to me, who was a marketing genius, and, you know, he said, hey, you know, you've got the experience in this stuff. And this was, you know, a long time ago. And I, you know, by then I'd already been interviewing serial child killers and, you know, guys, as you know, Dodd and others, where, you know, we were getting in their heads and trying to figure out, okay, what makes them tick and how do they pick their victims? And what do we do? How do we protect children from this type of perpetrator and this type of hunter? How do we do it? And I was just blessed. You know, the universe was on schedule, and for that moment in time, I was chosen to, you know, that guy and others. And then, you know, there are others today that are seeing things 10 times crazier. But we had the path to do some, you know, predictive analysis in relationship to what we're seeing today. And we were on target. You know, not to toot our horns, but we saw it coming. And the internet drove it.
Can you, I mean, honestly, the impact that probably had, and still, I mean, if these messages aren't still out there today, They should be out there because it's more fierce than ever. But I can't imagine how many children, were like, oh, I was watching that. I saw them. There's people in the chat saying, I remember these from, when I was a kid, and because it matters that these things really do matter. And it's just to me, your history with this, like you're going to do this until you can't do it anymore. It's just who you are, and there's nobody that's going to stop you from doing it. And the passion that you have for finding predators and putting predators away, that's the one thing I always think about, like with, like a guy like Don Wells. I mean, when you heard that story, you were just like, well, what is going, why is this the way it is? This needs to change.
Yeah.
And, you were totally the same way that I am when it comes to people who have taken advantage of, and Don's just an example. There's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, that you've dealt with. And it does really feel like, because I've seen you interview people, talk to people, and you were a really, really nice guy until it's time to kind of tighten the screws, and then it gets a little like, whoa, I've seen it. But that's just how you are. That's how you operate, and you have to be that way, because bad guys aren't going to put themselves away. They're not going to tell on themselves. And I've always been fascinated with people that stand up to those kind of people, because most people are intimidated by predators. They just are. And, your tireless dedication to public service and protecting people does not go unnoticed. And Northern Farm Girl says here, Josh, thank you for being you. We got to love more in this world. Be safe out there. Watch, look, and respect each other. We live one time in our lives. Make a difference. Yes, you're doing that. Thank you both. Thank both of you and this love.
So there's one thing that I think we can use, and we can do it tonight here on your platform. It just came to my mind. One thing that we need to do as a society, okay, and is pressure our, and by the way, it's nonpartisan at all. Okay, this is about saving children. One thing we need to do is somehow have those types of sites regulated in relationship to not that people can't see them, because that's, the First Amendment, right? However, we have to prevent a way of children from seeing them. And we have to control that mechanism. Somehow there has to be something in place that prevents, other than just saying, and this kid who bought this assault rifle is a good example. I mean, he's within 2 days of his 18th birthday, he's got an assault rifle sitting in his living room. Okay, and I'm pro Second Amendment 1,000%. I've got guns myself. However, okay, there are some crazy people that should not have those weapons, and he's one of them.
No question.
Okay, no question about it. And I'm the first one with over 40 years in the law enforcement industry that will tell you that should not have happened. Okay, at all.
He shouldn't have had one. They shouldn't have been able to
he shouldn't have had access to it at all. They're saying now, you got to be 21 to get a drink. Well, okay, but that's another day, right? I'm not going that direction. However,
I already went there.
What did you? Okay, well this is your panel, and I want to be respectful of it. This is your show.
Nope.
However, I do believe all of us are impacted by the amount of sadistic pornography available
Yes.
out in the world. And we've got to wake up, because, you know, part of their fuel. And by the way, a lot of times post these types of incidents, they'll go back and, you know, they'll turn that garbage on. Okay. And, you know, we saw those shifting, that tide shifting in, you know, the early 90s, and that, you know, and I've shared that in the past in some of my shows. And now we're here. We're absolutely here. And I was just, you know, recently I was in back on the West Coast teaching. I had the Underground Railroad. They were going to do an operation in, I think, Thailand or Central America. And we were talking about the evolution of the intellectual predator and how, you know, these guys operate in these environments. And I asked one of the guys, I said, what's the youngest, you know, victimology that you're seeing out there? You know what he told me? I almost fell over. 18 months.
Wow.
18 months. I was furious. Okay. And but you see the other side of this that people, you know, were not paying attention to, okay, is they're getting the fuel, and that fantasy becomes boredom over time. Boredom over time. They need something more, something different, something this, something that. We need to demand from our legislators that stuff stops. It needs to stop, because, you know, these children don't even know, you know, at 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you know, if they're Spider-Man or, you know, a princess. They don't get it. And for us, shame on us to be bringing children into the adult world. It's horrific, because you can bet that predator sitting back, they're sitting back and they're going, keep moving. This is perfect. And you'll be surprised when I asked Wesley Dodd on death row. I asked him, I said, what would happen if they let you out of here? You know, and his answer was classic, and he said it many times. He said, I'd kill as many kids as I could. For right? Because it was an essay gratification. That's what he operates on.
I mean, that was what he was living for.
That's what he was living for. Yeah. And you know what? If there's anything we can agree on as moms, dads, friends, neighbors, and it doesn't matter who we are as human beings, let's just agree on that these children are our future, and it doesn't matter what family they belong to or who they belong to. Your children will be impacted by this as well, because the whole reason I'm on YouTube is to talk about how do we protect them and how we can help. And you know, you've honored me tonight with, you know, what you and Peyton put together, and for that I will be eternally grateful. I'm very, very humbled by it, and you know, there's much more deserving people, but I appreciate it very, very much, Josh.
There might be more deserving people elsewhere, but in my world, you're about as deserving as they come. And because, like I said, you've really helped. You've helped me with the positivity aspect. I mean, when I first got to YouTube, I was ready to just shred people, and what I mean by that is just not hold back and focus my energy in places that it didn't really belong. I didn't mind mixing it up with people. Now I don't even I think that's the worst thing that I could possibly do, not only for my platform but for myself. Internally it's not good, for me, I've worked my whole life to get over angst and depression and anger. Oh, not even anger. I was never really an angry person, but just more so, bitterness and just feeling maybe shortchanged in life. And I the whole woe is me pity party stuff. I've never wanted to fall down that hole, and I don't want to associate with the people that are down that hole either, because that's where I started. Like, that was my starting point. I didn't end up there. I mean, I was man. I mean, I came from the ashes. I'm a rare statistic, and but it didn't just happen. I had good people around me and my whole life. And, I kind of just throw you in that mix now too, because I've always tried to surround myself with people that knew more than me, that had more experience in life. And those have always basically exclusively been people that are, 20 years older than me. It's just how it is, because of the life experience that people, you just don't get without living it. And at 36 years old, I have a kid getting ready to graduate in a year, in a month, and then another one next year. And I feel like I have more of a mission now than ever, and I will have the time and the energy to do this, and that is something that I do really look forward to. But it all starts from where I started from. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to deal with that nonsense, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, and you're on target. You're on target. And there's a whole new study coming, at some point. So Coop just did they added a couple of chapters to his book, Predators, and he's going to be coming on to talk about it. Him and Mike King a while ago, Coop brought Mike under his wing, and they co-wrote this book. And Coop and another guy had just written some more chapters, and so they're going to add to it. And Coop's going to come on and talk about it. And he's also going to talk about Bridge Guy from his opinion. So that'll be a good show coming up at some point. But there are also there's some study going to be coming out. It's going to be a while from now, but it's being run up the flagpole by some major, bright people. And when that's Ann Burgess and Mary Ellen O'Toole, Greg and Wrestler, a bunch of crazy, people that are in the crazy lane for chasing these guys. Dr. Simon is going to be involved in the study, and what's interesting, part of the questioning is going to be, how has the internet impacted their behavior? Well, when the results of that come out, it's going to flip law enforcement upside down, because these are the people that are locked up, the worst of the worst, and this is the same type of study that they did, and others that sat down with Bundy and those kind of Ridgway and Dahmer and all those craziness, right? And that's a bag of popcorn and a Coke, let me tell you, sitting around with those kooks.
Yeah,
okay. Right. But they're fascinating too. At the same time, they're dangerous. But the only way we can fix the problem, because they're broken and they'll always be broken. You can't fix them.
You can't. It just doesn't happen. I don't understand that whole rehabilitation thing. I've told this before. My cousin robbed a liquor store many, many years ago. Armed robbery. He got 10 years. Deserved every minute of it. I know somebody that I read about these people in the paper all the time, and they get for essaying children, they get 2 years.
Yeah, I don't understand it anymore. I really don't, and I don't think we're going to be able to understand it. Hang on. I apologize. I'm sorry. I just sneezed. Maybe I am getting a cold. No, I'm kidding.
Look,
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I understand. But one time,
Eat a corn dog. Relax.
You caught COVID on my show once. Remember that?
I did. That I did. And everybody in the chat. That's why I'm watching it and I'm going, they're seeing something I'm not seeing. Maybe,
There's
but
no way you have COVID again because you've had it 3 times.
I've had it 3 times.
3 times, and you're vaccinated.
Yeah, and I'm still here. So it's like blowing. Just keep moving. Don't look behind you. Just keep moving.
You can't get sick on my show twice. People are gonna it's just not gonna be good. Oh.
No, I'm not getting sick. I'm not getting sick. Seriously.
I know.
It's anyway.
It's Buddy's danger.
Yeah. So that said, I think it's and thank you for your kindness in the chat. I see everybody. Bless you. Thank you.
Are you okay, Chris?
I love that we have the best audiences. We really do.
For sure.
We really do because they're stable, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're just amazing. I mean,
it's a double-edged sword though, because if you ever make a mistake, you get it shoved to you really fast too. Don't spell something wrong.
I've eaten.
I love it sometimes.
I can't tell you how many word salads I've had. Over time.
They give it to you. They're just like, oh, it's you used the wrong there, Josh. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm not as smart as you. It happens a lot.
Well, and that's why I got off of Twitter because I'm not real good at word salad. I'm really not. And it was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I don't want to go into the abyss. Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. I'm going to go stand over somebody who needs my help.
Yeah.
And anyway, Corn Dog Mafia. I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
It's a really smart one. So.
Well, I think one of the leading thing so far is the Diaz dog. I think people are really liking the Diaz dog.
I like that.
I think Mary's kind of feeling that too.
And Mary could make them. Mary, we have an assignment.
Well, that's what she wants to do. She's going to make a homemade.
That was her idea. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. She's going to make a homemade corn dog and name it after me. And so
it should be.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Put a hat on it with some ears. And are you still doing the John Belushi? Or are you
my hair? Is it? You want to see my hair?
The samurai?
It might be.
Are you still the samurai chef? Oh, see, there it is. That's the Belushi. There it is. That's what's happening. And
it's long.
It looks great. It fits you. If that's what you're into, that's what you're running. I was going to do something like that recently, but I figured, I had too much clashing with Josh. I'll just
you want to grow your hair out.
We've got two different styles here, Yeah. So I figured, I'll just do the McFluff.
Well, mine's gotten too heavy. I don't know why. I'm just kind of in this whole, I'm kind of being a hippie right now. I'm like growing. My beard is out of control. My hair is out of control. Chris is
the
out
audience
of
likes it.
Everybody's out of control. Buddy's out of control. I'm not doing the man bun at the. Yeah, you're gonna have to put. Yeah, next show I'll have the Belushi ready to go. No, I'm not doing the man bun. And yeah, you got to put some jalapenos.
Yes. Did you like the applause?
Well,
did that surprise you?
It scared me.
It did scare you.
Yeah, it was a little like
you're the one that told me to get the board.
Am I? Is this my time? Oh, going out on top. If a bright light showed up, man, I was gonna.
Well, I didn't time it correctly. When you pulled the hat off, I should have hit the applause button. But I am learning, and I just learned that. So now be careful.
Yeah. It was like he's learning. It's like, yeah, I told you. I remember telling you guys, you got to get this piece of equipment.
Yep.
Now you've got it. Now you're going to torment me with it, and that's okay. It's not like I haven't tormented you a bunch in the past. But as always, Chris, I appreciate you coming on. And so on our way out, I would like to play the video again, and then we'll just end it right after that. But thank you so much for being here. As always, you're the best, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Josh. I'm going to jump, and thank you so much for the invite and your friendship.
Thanks, Chris. We'll talk soon.
All right, bud.
Police are turning to radio stations for help in finding 7-year-old Leticia Hernandez.
Police fear that Leticia has been kidnapped.
Authorities say they have no clues into the disappearance of 7-year-old Leticia Hernandez.
The search continues this morning for Leticia Hernandez, the 7-year-old Oceanside girl who's been missing since Saturday night. Detectives in Oceanside and FBI agents in San Diego continue to track down leads on the girl's whereabouts.
But police are following up on a number of phone leads from people who believe they have seen the girl.
Leticia Hernandez was kidnapped on December 16, 1989.
Sweet brown eyes help me realize what's in your heart. I hear your voice and I have no choice. I'm a star.
Hey, aloha, everybody.
Aloha, everybody.
Chris McFluffin, a.k.a. the McDonough, a.k.a. McDonough-nator. I got a lot of them. I could go all night with that, really, Chris. I could say, you're a magician.
Our very first episode, we're bringing you the story about Suzanne Morphew. Aloha, everybody. Hey, guys, how you doing? Woo-hoo.
Doing great.
Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the interview room.
And welcome to the interview room. Wow. I got to adjust my seat. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the interview room. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room.
But just literally cut your phone off all the way. Cut your phone off all the way so we have no interruptions. Anyway.
Amazing. So
he grew a lot about himself. There's Chris.
I got knocked out of my own the beginning here, so
you know him like I know him. The McFluffinator, Chris McDonough of the interview room. Thank you for being Chris McDonough. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Josh, aloha, lab rats.
Yeah, here we are.
Steve, what's up, bud? We are very, very appreciative of each of you, and I just can't say thank you enough. So, thank you. Aloha.
On the side, and what about the boys?
Let's see.
Where is that? Are there? Yep, there they are. There's those. If you look down there, there's just corn dog after corn dog.
That's
down.
That's what I'm talking. Now we need some ketchup packets and mustard packets. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to the interview room. We're grateful that you're here tonight. I've got my sidekick over here, Detective Buddy. I'm sure he appreciates that, right, Bud? Okay, there you go. I feel great that I'm in the lab in the test tube.
Man, here
I am, buddy. Shake me up. Shake me up.
Leticia is described as 4 feet tall, about 80 pounds, with dark hair and brown eyes. She's also missing her 2 upper front teeth.
It's been more than a month since she vanished and the leads have been drying up.
This song is dedicated to Leticia Hernandez, kidnapped December 16, 1989, in Oceanside, California. Oh, Leticia.
This is the interview room, guys, right here. The interview room.
Chris's new studio.
You're my first interview.
We continually need to remember her till she comes home.